blah, 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 blah. No, that wasn't the gift of tongues. Guten Tag. Wie geht es dir? Not the gift of tongues. I'm still studying, and this is the part that I've come to. So listen in. I'm going to study on this. I had to go to Acts 2 again because when the Holy Spirit came upon the believers there, this is the first time we see this in the New Testament. You've ever heard my story about coming out of a false church? That's what I call it, because it really truly was. They were all about speaking in tongues because it was a charismatic church. But when I look at the Bible, I'm like, what was happening there? And what I do see when I look on, either people tell me about what they know about tongues or what I see, like when you turn on Christian TV or whatever, that is not this. So go and read Acts 2. And the beginning of it tells us that there were Jews, that they were gathered from all around, right? Because they were there to celebrate the Feast of Pentecost. And at that time, so think about it, there's people from other parts, and they list them specifically where they were from. If we keep reading, we see that they didn't speak the same language. And when the Holy Spirit did come upon the believers, it drew these other people's attention because they're like, wait a minute, they are speaking in like our language. So when we take a closer look at the tongues being spoken of here, the Holy Spirit comes upon them, right? The believers there. And all of a sudden, they are speaking languages that they don't know of. Like earlier when I first started my video, I spoke German and I said, not the gift of tongues. Why? Because I've studied German. That didn't come naturally to me. This is when this Holy Spirit comes upon you and out comes a language praising the Lord. That's another thing to keep in mind. Praising, talking about the wonderful glories of God and all that. But these people around that aren't from there, they're like, they are speaking my language, but that's not native to them. One thing we can learn about the gift of tongues is that the person, the Christian, if that happens, they didn't know that language. So it would be like me speaking in Arabic because I've never studied it and I don't know it at all. But then there happens to be somebody around that does understand. They're like, you're speaking my language and you're praising the Lord. It's leading people to the Lord. I know there's another aspect of tongues as in prayer, but I'll deal with that another time. I'm just going to do a part 2 about the gift of tongues.